Hi guys, today's lesson is on if childcare is becoming more equal. So where previous lessons focus more on like domestic duties, this is looking at whether responsibilities for taking care of the children are more equal. So let's have a look at these then. So your paragraph 1 is just looking at the impact of paid work. Now, on side 3, you've got a graph that shows the patterns of males and females' employments. You don't need to remember the exact statistics, but if I could get you to write down that males' employment has declined and females' employment has risen, so they're more equal than they were in the 1970s. So just explain that overall trend. Once you've done that, if you go to slide 4, this is just the reasons why. So if you just pick one of the reasons why from that have been added to the graph to add to your explanation, say this is one reason why that gender equality in the workplace is being achieved. Okay. Now, how this impacts childcare is there's 2 reasons. So on slide 5, you've got 2 questions. So the first question is how can women are obviously going to have more money now. So what they can do is use that money to reduce the time they have to spend doing childcare. So they can do things like hire a nanny, hire a babysitter, so it reduces it in that direct way. But equally, in the second question, it changes the dynamic of the relationship. In the 1970s, when just the man worked, it would have been understood that woman contributes by taking responsibility for childcare. But now, when both the couples work, the childcare should be shared equally too. So it's changed the dynamic in that way. So using that, if I could get you to answer the 2 questions on slide number 5. Okay, then on slide number 6, we've got the evidence to back that up. So all you need to do with that is note it down. Okay, for evaluation on slide 7, there's a question, what groups of women does this not impact? Well, it doesn't impact the poorer women in society. So women on minimum wage, low paid or part-time jobs still end up doing the majority of the caring of children. So it only affects the most affluent women within society. Okay, paragraph 2 then is the feminist perspective. So on slide 9, can I get you to copy down that sentence? And then on slide 10, can I also get you to copy down the sentence? So basically what this is arguing is although women have entered paid work, the amount of domestic work they're doing hasn't actually changed. And what has happened is that you have got the triple shift, which is women doing paid work and domestic labour. Now with this PowerPoint, you've got an article attached, and it's like a blog looking at a woman who does past paid work and looks after their children. So if I could get you to read it and describe what a paid work is like. I've done it as a mind map if you want to do it like that too. And then how a domestic work is like. But then there's a third aspect that women do that make it the triple shift. So she's taking care of 3 aspects of family life. And that's the emotion work. Now, if you watch, there's a YouTube clip in the notes underneath, you can watch it, and it demonstrates that men tend to know less about their children, they tend to be less involved in their life, and we could link in examples like they're less likely to do things like go to parents' evening. So a woman takes responsibility for paid work, domestic work, and emotion work, so she's doing a triple shift. However, in evaluation to this, there's been a development of new man. So you may want to watch a clip of what a new man looks like. If you were in yesterday's lesson, you would have perhaps seen what a new man is like. So a new man is basically a man who has traditionally characteristics that were traditionally only for females. So this would have been caring for children, being more emotional, and being more likely to do domestic work. So there's been an increase in new man, and evidence of this as we see it in the media with people like Peter Andre is a really good example. So that is your evaluation. Okay, your third paragraph, paragraph 3, is actually focusing on explaining why women do most of the housework. And a group of sociologists said there's 2 reasons. There's a cultural / ideological explanation. Now, this is linked, we've used the term ideology before, and it's where people push a particular idea on people. Now, if you turn to slide 13, you can see images of girls' toys that show domestic tasks. What we did in the lesson is we also watched a trailer for an advert for a baby Annabelle doll. Now, what this does, if we use the key term socialised So remember, that's teaching norms and values. That teaches young girls that their norms is to take care of the children and that to value that role, because girls are shown to be playing with these toys. It teaches them that's an enjoyable aspect of life and they should want to do it. This is then reinforced later in life, so you can see the Good Housekeeping magazine as an example of this. It's reinforced by rewarding women for doing and praising women in the media for taking on domestic duties and care. So that is the cultural / ideological explanation. So if you could write a couple of sentences explaining that. And then on top of that, we've got the material or economic explanation. Now what this is we can see in the image there, women earn less than men. There's a pay gap, gender pay gap. We've looked at this in a few lessons. Now what these feminists argue is that because women earn less money, men are justifying that they should contribute by doing more of the childcare. So that's the explanation there. Okay, and just your last thing to do is evaluation on slide 14. This is just, it was in the news and this is a thing that came in 2019. It's now illegal to use gender stereotyping in adverts. This shows this idea of gender socialisation, of teaching girls to do domestic work and childcare is now being banned from adverts. So it shows that gender socialisation is becoming more equal. Okay, if you've got any questions, as always, drop me an email. Hope you're all feeling okay. Bye.